Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to episode 52 of Improving Chess with Sagar and the comedians. Today's session is going to change your understanding of chess. Okay, I'm pretty confident about it because you may ask me, well, if it's so important, why didn't we do it, let's say, in the top 10 sessions or in the 20th session? Why are we doing it at number 52? Well, my only defense to that is that this concept of weaknesses, which we are going to talk today, we were actually talking about it all throughout. We were speaking about it from episode 1 itself, but it's just that today we will be talking about it in more depth. We will try to understand it consciously. Subconsciously, we all have a definition of weakness, and this is something which I had for months. But when I started to think how to put it into words, how is it that I should start and explain it to you, I realized that okay, it's not so trivial, so that's the reason why today we are going to discuss about this entire concept of weaknesses. And I'm so glad so many people are here. A warm welcome to everyone in the chat who are here. Thank you for being there. Even before the session begins, I always go and check the live chat to see if someone's there. Today Ayushi was there, and Ayushi, welcome to you. Thank you once again for your wonderful gesture of making the sketch. And always it feels nice to see people who have been sticking around since, I guess, episode 1 itself. And it's very nice that you guys are coming back. It inspires me to continue, to keep going. So who's the guest for today? Of course, Biswa Kalyan Rath, who's awake, but he said he'll join in at 8:30. So half an hour and we'll start our session then. What about Vaibhav and Samay? I don't think they are up yet. Maybe they will join, but let's begin with a game, shall we? If we play a game, maybe we can understand this concept. I'll try to also see if there are certain weaknesses. There is a link in the description if you can click on it. And that's where you go. Let me share my screen with all of you so that you can see what's happening. And let's go to play chess. And in the comedians room, sorry, just logging in as a guest. Let me log in as Sagar, ChessBase, play chess. And comedians. Yep, there's the room. Okay, let's play a 5-minute game. Neil Samant, thank you so much for the super chat. And he says, thanks for taking out time to make these videos. Can you talk about your daily routine? Good question, Neil. Usually I wake up at 6, sometimes at 5. Earlier I used to keep an alarm to wake up. Now it just happens naturally. I don't know. I don't have to even try to wake up. It just happens. Amruta says that I'm lucky that I have some really good passion in life that keeps me awake all the time. Once I do this session in the morning, I wake Amruta up. That's our usual routine. So I wake her up and then we have breakfast together. And after getting ready, I would usually sit down and either prepare for my next stream that I'm going to do, or take care of certain things in ChessBase India which are important to be done. And then there is more. So basically, it is all about chess, how to to promote chess, maybe making videos, writing articles, contacting people, trying to spread chess. So usually my day goes on. I try to find some time for exercising at 6 o'clock if there's no live stream, and then I will, I don't need to decide a time for sleeping. It's just that I lie on the bed and I'm asleep. That's how it is. And I also follow some kind of a diet, which is not something that I've learned from anywhere. It's just that I'm trying to learn it through experience. So I eat only at 10:30. That's my lunch, and at 5:30 and 6. So by that, just eating those 2 times, I've managed to reduce around 8 kgs. So it worked well. Shivam Singh, can I play a game today? Give me 5 minutes. Okay, let's see. I will see who is a new name which I haven't played. I think Cyan82 is someone I haven't played. I will ask Cyan to make it a 5-minute game instead of 10. And let's play. Let's play here. Okay, Lakshmi Narayanan. What is IMKP? Okay, I haven't played with IMKP ever. Let me play. Some of the players I have played with, so I want to play with new people. Okay, E4. What should I play? I'll play the classical way, E4, E5. Just staying solid. Knight F3. Okay, Knight C6. Yes, Akash Amritkar, I received your email, so thank you so much for it. I will respond to it. So Abhilash Meregu, thank you so much for your super chat, and good morning to you as well. Okay, so my opponent has played a symmetrical variation. Usually they try to put the pawn on c3, but he is not so keen on doing that. Okay, I'm going to play d6 here. d3, and now maybe how about trying to win this bishop with knight a5? Do you think makes sense? Would be nice, yeah? Okay, let's try to win this bishop. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Bishop b5 check, c6, bishop a4, b5. Okay, if you're going to play it here, I'll take. And now you will go for knight a4 ideas, so I will play a6 and try to not let you win my bishop. Knight d5. I don't like it so much. I'll take it. I take and play bishop to g4. Or should I castle first? The only reason why bishop g4 I'm a bit worried is d4, but d4 I can take bishop d4. Alright, let's play bishop g4. Who was winner of yesterday's tournament? His name is Girish Kaushik. He is a grandmaster from Karnataka and a very good player. Okay, you're going to play very aggressively. That's interesting. And we are going to, through this game, we are going to learn more about today's concept. Nice. Of weaknesses. Because my opponent has played aggressively. Okay, now the question is, should I castle, which looks already strong, or should I go for h5 or f5? Both moves look good. Let's do castles. I want to play it slightly safe here. And next move, I'm going to try and play. This is a good move. Usually, when your opponent has a bishop pair, you try to exchange one of the bishops. So it's a good move by my opponent. I have to think about how to respond to it. Should I take? If you take, I'm a little bit concerned about f takes. I don't like that he can double. So I want him to take, but then I don't want to spoil my structure. What should I play? Okay, how about b6? And then if he takes, I'll take with the b pawn. Just a I know bishop into e3 may have been a better way to play, but okay. Anshul Banerjee, can I play a match? Anshul, if I play one more after this, then sure, would be nice. Now I'm going to play f5. I think this makes complete sense to just open up the position. Ayushi Sharma, Sagar OP have to really go, but will tune in to listen after a few minutes. We really can't thank you enough for your efforts. Much respect. Thank you, Ayushi. You are truly an inspiration, and I don't say this just on this show. I really feel so, and I'm so glad that I met you over this through the live sessions. Okay, guys. Sorry, Ayushi, I have to focus, but see you soon. And I want to think about this move f4 here. What do you think? f4, knight e6, queen h4, knight f8, f3, knight c5, f3. What? Knight f8, rook f8, and I'm threatening f3. I think f4 is a classy move. What do you think, guys? f4, bishop c5, queen g5. I like it. Let's go. It looks like a classy move. I hope I'm not missing something here, but I don't think I am. It's a beautiful move. Queen h4. I think the point is nice. Bishop c5. Okay. What I want to do is, maybe I'm giving up too much material, but what I want to do is I want to play f3 here. And next move, I want to play queen into h3 and then mate. Siddharth Ranadev, GM Sagar sir, Kasakai, what's your favorite response line against d4 as black, and why? Always nervous when white starts with d4. Okay, we're going to talk about this, Siddharth. And आपण बोलूया ह्याच्यावर. मराठीत मी उत्तर देऊ शकतो, पण मग खूप लोकांना कळणार नाही, म्हणून मी इंग्लिशमध्ये देणार. I said I may give the answer in Marathi, but then a lot of people won't understand. So we'll speak in English. But this f3 move comes as a really nice trick, yeah? Because if he moves the queen into h3, and it's a forced mate. Mona Lisa Chaudhary, thank you so much. Oh, he resigned this game. My god, this game really picked up like towards the end. Let's try to understand, okay, what happened, because I think this was a classy game. Not just, I think a lot of things happening. Mona Lisa says, missed a few streams due to work, will catch up soon. Yes, Mona Lisa, you have been a regular viewer and very glad to have you. Please do continue watching. Okay, let's look at this game. I think this was a really cool one. e4, e5, knight f3. By the way, IMPK, thank you. And let me just first answer Siddharth Ranadev's question, who says, what do you play against d4? So Siddharth, I exclusively tried playing the Nimzo Indian, and I have a big series of videos, and I'm going to point you to that over here, which is if you go to ChessBase India and go to our playlists, you will find improve your opening play with Sagar, and from 1 to part 8, 9, 10, 11 parts is all against 1d4. So please have a look at it, and I'm sure you will be benefited. You'll be benefited a lot. So please have a look at it. KC says, good morning, Sagar. Great tournament yesterday. Yes, it was a fantastic tournament. I actually was very glad that everything went smoothly. It's always stressful, yeah? Like there's someone who's conducting the event. Internet has to be okay and all. And I am so grateful to Vidit for streaming it live. He was amazing there. He streamed it live, and so many people got to learn about Chess 960 because of him. I was very impressed. Although he scored 6 points, it's only because he was talking and trying to stream. It's never easy to stream and play. That much I know. So that is true, and also a lot of people played really well. I think Ronak Sadhwani finished third. Second was Nodirbek Abdusataro, very classy player from Uzbekistan. Watch out for him. I think he will be one of the best in the years to come. Sarvanan is here. Welcome, Sara. Sarvanan says ChessBase India secrets. When Sagar Shah sleeps, he doesn't snore. He recites chess wisdom in sleep. Proposals have been submitted to his wife to stream his sleep. No. I do not stream anything. The way I sleep, and I think people call it very lucky, is that I just sleep and then it's all blank for a few hours. Like many times Amruta tells me that last few minutes yesterday night when you were awake you said so and so, and I said, really, did I say so? I just don't remember. Many times when I'm asleep or half sleepy, I say anything. So Sarah, maybe I would say like something like King's Gambit is a great opening or something like that in my sleep, and would be really stupid. Shivam Singh, I don't know what to play against 1 e4 as black, so I generally go with the Petrov. I tried the Sicilian but mostly lost so many games. Shivam, what are you waiting for? Play e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. And again, I will tell you to go from part number 12 onwards. Go until part number 19. Just play e4, e5. Beautiful. Don't play the Petrov. Why do you want to play Petrov? Okay. So bishop c4, bishop c5, castles, knight f6. Of course, Caro-Kann is also good, and you can play that as well. Knight c3, and usually I would recommend anyone playing with white to go for d3 and then c3, and this is the Italian system. You should play that. But knight c3, I went d6. He played d3, and I think this is where usually you don't give up this bishop, and so I grabbed this opportunity to take the bishop. I don't know if it was the right decision, but it seems like it's played before, so should be okay. Also, I'm wondering what happens if he goes knight a4. He also attacks my bishop. Could be. Maybe I can win a pawn, right? Like takes, knight b7. But if knight b2, but if I take on b2, then bishop b2 and then dc, already e5 is hanging. Like, take here, and then e5 pawn would hang. So doesn't look great. I guess knight a4 is a viable move we should look at. So, when I'm analyzing, I'm trying to look at what doubts I had in my mind. And this is not just computer analysis, but thinking with my own head. So knight a5, bishop b3, I took, and I decided to just save my bishop against all knight a4 tricks. Always remember that winning this bishop is a very good thing for you in the Italian. So takes, a6, knight d5. Now I don't like this move. Actually, I am KP. You could have played bishop g5. I was wondering if h6 here, bishop h4. If you take knight d5, I'll just go back. But if you go bishop h4, I was planning on going g5 here. And the plan is similar. I think we've already discussed this, which is rook g8. Remember? You must attack the bishop first, and in case he defends it, you can even take and play bishop g4 here, if you remember this. And then after a move like queen d2, you could play something like knight h5, threatening knight g3 and knight f4, and should be very interesting this way to play. So when knight d5 was played, I suddenly decided, like, okay, let's take it, and now bishop g4. I was wondering if he had d4 in such positions, but no, he doesn't, because I can take with the bishop. So h3, and here a safe way would have to been to take and play castles, and I don't see how black is worse. Black is completely fine. But I said let's keep the bishops, and g4. And now we come to the main part of our today's lecture, which is h3 g4 has been pushed. So guys, whenever opponent pushes his pawns, it creates weaknesses in the position. And you see these pawns h3 g4, they create weaknesses all around. Any square which cannot be protected by a pawn is a weakness. I'm going to teach all of this to Biswa later today. But for now, I want you to get a sort of a head start into what weaknesses is all about. And this square really becomes weak. This pawn really becomes weak. But weakness is actually not just a weakness for namesake. You should be able to attack it. You should be able to land on that square. And this is where you have to realize whether it's worth or not. Here I feel this is really worth because it's closer to the king. The king, when it's weak, it would make really a wonderful attacking idea to play against it. Now d4, I felt this should have been played because in a way you are now trying to aim at the white's king in the center, but after take check king f8, I thought it should be okay. Although my king is slightly not well placed, I can always activate my rook with h5, and so my king is safe here. My rook can be activated, and so I don't think it's a big problem. By the way, guys, in the chat, please let me know if you understood the meaning of weaknesses. Okay, what is a weak? Aman Singh would love to be a mod here. Okay, Aman, I would add you. Aman, didn't we speak on Dr. Chess once? Shivam Singh, cannot challenge you a game because of formula. I have a rating less than 1600. Can I play the next game? Well, I don't think, Shivam, we're going to play today, but next time I'll make sure that I will change the formula and we'll play a game. Yeah. Okay, so I want to understand if you understood what weaknesses mean in chess. If you have any questions about weaknesses, let me know. Sumed R, can I play with you? ChessBase India. Sumed, you played with me. Of course, with the comedians, if it works out, I would love if you play. But you have played with me. Yes, okay, Aman, we spoke on Dr. Chess. And yes, everyone understood. Any square not protected by another pawn is weak. Any square is weak. Any pawn is weak. And even sometimes, this might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but even a piece which is not protected can be a weakness, in that sense. So this knight could also become weak. But pieces are always mobile. The knight can move very quickly. Okay, Mr. Biswa is here. So the knight can move very quickly, and so many times it is not weak. In order to make a weakness kind of stick, it has to be sort of immobile many times. Okay, so let's admit Mr. Biswa Kalyan Rath. Let me see if I can. One second, let me hear. Can you hear me, Mr. Biswa?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Fantastic. No technical difficulties. I can hear you.
You can hear me or what?
Yes.
Okay.
Great to see you. Today we are going to change your understanding of chess.
Every day. Changing. Okay. Say me fastly.
Okay. So today we are going to learn about weaknesses. Okay.
Got it.
And I was just analyzing one of my games that I was playing on stream, and I will share the screen with you so that you can have a look at it. Okay, I can also make Biswa larger here. You can see the board, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. अरे ये सब मूछ के ऊपर मोमेंट बिस्वा कम्स द कमेंट स्टार्ट ऑन मूछ. आपका मूछ मतलब
Of course.
या एवरीवन लव. सब पूछ रहे असली है क्या?
Of course, asli hai, boys. Everybody should have a mooch. It's asli, guys.
वो कभी कभी ऐसा नाक में नहीं जाता है क्या बाल? मेरा जा रहा है. मैंने काट दिया.
Nice.
Okay. So this is a position on the board, and Biswa, I'm going to ask you to assess it. You are not listening
Okay.
to the stream, right, before coming here, or you were?
No.
Okay, good. So what's going on here? You don't even know who is white or who is black. So
Yeah. Okay, obviously the black bishop has come to g4 and has been pushed. Sorry, yeah. G4 and has been pushed back.
This is very very well known to you, this theme.
Yeah, full time I encountered this. Okay, it has been pushed back. White has castle, black is yet to castle. Black has good position because white has a weaknesses on the king side now, and I mean there is no immediate way to exploit it, but it's there. It's permanent weakness, those pawns, and it has a isolated pawn, and it has a double pawn on the b file.
Which is the isolated pawn?
The isolated pawn is on the d5.
No, this is not.
It's
because
not isolated.
You can always.
It's a double.
Yeah, it's a double pawn.
Sorry, it's a double pawn. Okay, double pawn, and okay, at least its bishop is open, but and rook is open, so there is some compensation. But if black castles, all of black's problems will be solved. It has bishop pair, so yeah, I think black is better here. But white's position is quite playable.
Yeah, that is a good assessment, and I think Biswa kind of looked at everything well. Few questions now, Biswa. Do you understand the concept of weaknesses?
Kind of.
So, can you find weaknesses in this position for both white and black?
Sure. H3 is a weakness for white.
Okay. Why do you say so?
It's not protected. And
so let's say by that logic, could we say that c2, let's say if the queen moves away, let's say e2, e1, could c2 become a weakness, or c2 is a weakness?
Temporarily, but once you push c4, it's not a weakness anymore.
Okay. All right, let's continue. So you said h3 is a weakness, then?
Okay, now there are the dark squares around the king are quite vulnerable. Okay, h4, f4 is now protected by the bishop, but if we can exchange the bishops somehow, then that will also become a weakness.
Okay.
H3 is definitely a weakness. Okay, so if we now, instead of castling, push h5, there will be a lot more weaknesses. So I would say yeah, it's I don't know exactly how like what you're also g3 is a weakness because of that pawn is pinned. Right?
G3.
So
yeah, very good.
I
think Biswa, you are very quick to understand this concept, but let's say if you had to now formulate a rule to tell the people what is weakness so that they can use it in chess, what would that be based on all your understanding? By the way, I want to ask you before you get this, are you a football fan?
No.
Okay.
Why?
There is someone, I don't know, someone Jurgen Klopp in the chat. I don't know if he's some footballer or something.
Okay.
But okay, Jurgen, if you are the real Jurgen, and I don't know, but as I read from the chat, you are what? You manage Liverpool or something? Then welcome to the show. But I don't know. It's always chat is filled with people who are not real. So
And weakness for black also I had to find. Okay. Weakness for black. Well, A5 is weak.
A5, this one.
Yeah.
But you know,
Because that rook is open.
it can
Maybe
always be
can,
B6. I can control it.
Sure, but then A6 will become slightly weak if you. I mean, your rook will have to be there to protect A6 because his rook is open.
Yeah.
I don't know how to exploit it, but still. It's not a weakness if it can't be exploited, right? You
Yes,
have told
that
me
is
this
true.
before.
That is true. One more. That's why when I had asked you about C2, this was what I was expecting, that you would say if it cannot be attacked, it's not a weakness. I mean, it could if it can be attacked in some way, then it could become a weakness. But right now it cannot be attacked, so C2 may not be weak. And same thing on A5. I don't even call it a weakness because you can always defend it with B6, so it's not really weak also.
Okay. I think weakness is okay. I'm going to give a weird definition actually. If it's not protected by a pawn,
Okay.
or if it's a bigger piece, if it's a piece of smaller value protected by a bigger value piece, then that is potentially a weakness because this knight is a weakness also.
Yes, that
It's
is.
good right now,
It's right now okay. Yeah.
but that queen is so immobile. It's not a tactical weakness, but it is a positional weakness. It's like hard that queen out, and because I can move my queen to f6, and then
Yes.
his
Yes.
queen just can't do
Yes,
much.
that is true. Okay, beautiful. I
Um,
would say your definition of weakness is almost correct. Anything which cannot be defended by a pawn could potentially become weak here. It could be a square, it could be a pawn, and it could be also a piece. At the same time, it's not so simple. Yeah, like pieces usually, like the knight here, is very mobile. It could immediately move and then it's no longer weak. So pieces being weak is, you can always argue about it whether it's a weakness or not.
yeah,
But anything which, like right now it's defended once, if I go queen f6 and attack it once, so attack, one defense, suddenly if you can just distract the defender, this falls. So anything which
yeah,
is attacked equal number of times could become potentially weak. And you were absolutely right about h3 cannot be defended by a pawn. Squares, beautifully put, h4 and f4 are weak because they cannot be defended. Also g3, as you rightly pointed out, because this is pinned, is a potential weakness. Brilliant thinking. I mean, this is how you spot weaknesses. So spotting weakness is the first element of positional chess, and then latching onto it is another, and it's much more complex because there you have to use all your skills of tactics and this and planning and strategy and all. But if you can't recognize, like if you say a5 is weak and then you start mounting here with, let's say, bishop d2 queen a1, that would be a wrong square to put all your resources on.
got it.
Okay, so right now, I if it was white's move, now after understanding all of this, you realized, and you can see that black's position is actually kind of bulletproof. You couldn't find even one weakness right now, at least for the time
Yeah.
being. So black has a very nice position. So white to move, what would you play here by understanding everything you have until now? Yeah, Anish Bhatt also a weakness in Anish Bhatt says a weakness in chess is a square slash piece which does not have a defense and which is vulnerable to attack. Yes, it should be, you should be able to attack, and secondly, uh not just which is does not have a defense, but also pawn is very important. Many times when it's not defended by a pawn, it becomes really weak. Karthik says by that rule, king is always a weakness. Yes, also
Yeah.
king is very immobile in a way. So when you start attacking it, it cannot run very quickly. So it is usually a weakness. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, Karthik.
Hmm.
C7, as Dev asks, yes, it's weak but very difficult to attack. That's why I wouldn't call it a weakness just as yet. It's a subtle difference.
Okay, I would play bishop g5.
Yes, bishop g5 is a decent move, but I'll go f6 and
Bishop h4.
yeah, you're covering your weaknesses up. That's a good thought. But then maybe I would go h5 here, and perhaps it might start causing you some problems down here. Not a bad idea though.
Um, yeah. Okay. What if I do g5?
Yes, and then suddenly f5, and then I want to play f4, and then this bishop suddenly
Okay.
asks what happened. You know, my life was suddenly I'm under lockdown. Here.
Got it. Got it.
Um,
Got it. Okay.
but bishop g5 is very good. But do you realize that actually statically white is worse? So many
Yeah.
weaknesses, so many
Yeah.
problems. He must do
Yeah.
something
Then
now.
king g2 is fine.
It's again a
It'll
slow move. It's a very slow
got it.
move. Try to do something now.
Hmm.
Okay, very good point made by Nagaraj Homabana says, but to gain space, we need to move pawns forward. Is that creating weakness? Every pawn push that you make creates weaknesses. Whether they are relevant or not is a different question. And that's why the inherent thing of pushing a pawn should be is that it creates weakness. So you should be very careful while doing that. Okay.
Mm, okay. Mm.
Something which is more active in nature, you know, when opponent is going to have a long term advantage, also two bishops is kind of a very long term edge, and you do something active. You don't just sit
Got it.
around and
Bishop e3.
okay, very good move. I like this because two things. First of all, you're doing something. Secondly, when the opponent has two bishops, you exchange one of them so that the other one becomes a little less powerful. Good move. I like
Yeah.
it. Anything else? Any other good move that you think white can do
Yeah,
here?
I'm just thinking. A very stupid move is that rook a4. There's no point actually.
Okay,
Forget it.
interesting. Um, could
Just
be.
pawn push.
You know. The idea is when you play b5, now your a5 square is slightly weak. You know, because you forced him. Then you can go back
Yeah.
and then you can argue that yes, this is a weakness. I'll come here, put my bishop, attack this weakness. So this is how you create weaknesses in a way. So it's not very illogical, but
Got
yeah,
it. There's another thing we can do actually. Now that I look at it, how about d4?
very good, very good. d4, and if I take with the pawn,
Um. Okay. First of all, give check with rook.
yes, very good. King f8.
Okay. Now you can't castle, so there is something. Okay. King f8.
And okay, I
Knight.
mean, you can take this, yeah, this pawn,
Yeah.
but the essence of this entire point of d4 is that you were able to do something very quick. The king was in center. Next move, he's planning to castle, and you opened it before it, and you forced him to lose castling, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So already it's
Yeah.
a victory for you, small victory. But okay, black king on f8 is relatively safe, so wouldn't be the end of the world for him, and he can activate his rook with h5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, coming back to the game, he played queen e2 here. So I quickly castled, and he went bishop e3, which is a nice move. I like his move this because he's exchanging bishops. And I really, what would you decide here? Now again, a moment of decision making in this position. Your bishop is attacked. How do you play?
F5.
This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. But this is what is not helping after takes. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe I should have done that.
Just take that pawn.
Yeah, exactly. Take this pawn. Take this pawn so that if he moves the bishop, if he I didn't want to take this because after DC knight e5 would have been just not good, you know. But FG, very good intermediate move, and after I have to take, because if I move the bishop, then GF3 is game over. So I have to take back and.
Now take that bishop.
Yeah.
No. Hold on. Just thinking if exchange sacrifice of rook for knight works, like if there's a mate, but there isn't.
Very, very interesting.
Oh man. Okay. Let's try this. No, that queen comes there. No, so it protects everything.
Where what? Where queen comes? Where what?
Sorry, if I take f takes on rook f takes on f3.
Yeah.
Then queen takes. My idea was to get queen d4.
Queen h4, you mean?
Sorry, queen h4. Yes.
Yeah.
And then take that pawn, but
no, it's not possible because he will just play queen g3 if rook f. Like I'll save my bishop, and then if you play rook f8, I'll play queen g3, and I think you are rook down, full rook down, which is too much.
Yeah.
So f5 is a little too soon. Would you consider playing bishop takes and f5?
Yeah.
Would you like to take this? Let's try to think if this is a good move or not a good move.
It seems fine to me, but like we gave up a really good bishop, and also but at least we have the tempo.
One important thing, remember, weaknesses we had spoken about.
Yeah.
This was a weak square, and quite a weak square, and next move when I play f5, it will really start becoming weak. So if your opponent takes on e3, what do you recapture with as white?
Queen.
No, if you take with the queen, then just f5 and look at this beautiful square for my rook.
Okay. A pawn then. Yeah,
yes, obviously. Exactly. Pawn takes away this weakness and also opens up this file. And I think this is what would white's defense would become easier. And that's the reason why I went for this move b6, which looks very silly as such, but I want him to take. And I want to take with the b pawn, not messing my structure. And then I will latch on to these weaknesses.
Got it. Yeah. Very smart idea. Yeah.
c4 was a bad move, and then I went f5. And every pawn push that you make creates a weakness, because the pawn which was controlling a square moved forward. So like, let's say f7 controls g6 and e6, now moves forward. So suddenly this becomes a weakness. So my opponent jumped in, and I think this was a very good decision tactically I think it doesn't work, but it was a very interesting decision. And now this is not related to our today's subject, so I won't ask you to calculate so much, but I think I did something pretty interesting here. Do you want to try with black?
Yeah.
Okay, black to move. I think there are many ways to get a good position.
I mean, simple move is bishop f7.
Yes, but not in the spirit of the position.
Okay.
This is now concrete calculation. This is concrete stuff.
Got it. Okay, let me just calculate that. Okay, this seems fine. F4.
What is white's move now?
Knight e6.
Very good. Very good. If he takes bishop into c5, what are your plans?
Just take back the bishop with b pawn.
Yeah, but then he jumps back, let's say, to f3.
Okay. Okay. Then I don't have a plan for this. We can.
Couldn't we take the knight? This piece is
we can take the knight.
So much more valuable, and now this bishop is hanging. He has only one or two squares out of the game, and then you can push and queen and checkmate him. It looks super strong, everything.
Yeah.
So okay, he cannot take the bishop, so he will jump in with his knight. Now what do you do?
Yeah, queen h4.
Very good, excellent. And in the game, my opponent took bishop takes c5. What do you do now?
Queen h3. I don't know what I'm doing.
Queen h3 is let's say if I take your rook, what's your plan now? Here?
F3.
F3, and this is the point. Yeah, you're going to checkmate him. Now, try to think of a defense for your opponent after queen h3. Because now you know what the threat is.
Knight takes on f4 is the only thing I can see. I can't find anything else.
Why not f3?
Queen can't protect. Oh, f3 is.
And now, if you look at it closely, you are a piece down as black. So you may recapture this piece. But if you recapture this, then your rook is hanging. Secondly, the queen is all ready to defend. And so already from a better position, you might get into a worse position as black.
Okay, got it. Got it.
So f3, but takes. So now what should you do with black? Because you know what white's plan is. White wants to play f3.
F3.
Yeah, very good.
Just
Excellent.
push F3.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And my opponent
Now there is no stopping.
Yeah, he
There is
resigned
no
the game.
stopping. Yeah.
It's a forced mate. So very good. And the basic point also was that after queen h4, if he took knight f8, here I could have just recaptured with the rook. Now attacking his bishop, if he takes here, I will play f3. Next move I will take this and mate. So anyway, this is unstoppable, and it's a brilliant representation of weaknesses, how they work. You had said h4 is a weakness, h3 is a weakness, and it fell in the position.
F3 also.
Yes, f3 and f4, and I mean all of this worked out precisely. So I'm very glad that I was going to discuss about weaknesses and I could play this game to explain the concept. Okay, so Biswa, shall I give you some more understanding of this concept? I have prepared some few things.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's have a look at our comedians database, which is growing in size. It has now 220 games. Never thought be so many games. Okay, so
By the way, I have to update you. I had reached 1270, then I did yesterday's class, and now I'm 1170.
what do I say?
Yeah, always Sagar Shah classes.
It's like you attend the classes, then you go on a sabbatical and you gain rating, and then you come back and then you lose rating. I guess your fees for the classes is the loss in rating.
Yes.
but it's interesting. Let's see if I feel that once you understand weaknesses better, really your game quality will increase. Let's try to see this. So
I feel it like it's futile to expect the rating to grow linearly, because if you grasp a new concept, then to apply it takes a lot of time.
Did you try overprotection yesterday in your games?
No.
Okay, that's good.
I tried blunder protection. It's too many blunders. Okay.
So this is just a normal position I have picked up. And by the way, I'm trying to explain you the concept of weaknesses from a very old book, which is by Nimzowitsch, called My System. It was the first book, I guess, which explained all these concepts well. And so players, even until now, use this book to understand concepts of open files, weaknesses, center control, overprotection, all of this. So here I have of course taken different examples, but let's look at this one first. What are the weaknesses in this position?
Okay. For white.
And relevant, F4. Yeah? Relevant weaknesses.
Yeah, F4, H4. H4 is not a weakness, but H4, the queen can come to, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then E2 is a potential weakness.
No, just if a piece is controlling a square does not mean that it's weakness.
Got it. Okay.
So you need to find squares which are unprotected by pawns, which could potentially be important, or they are weak, already.
Got it. I think then F4 is number one weakness. And F4 is weak, then E5 to apna is square है black का, so that is the no point calling it weakness. What is not controlled? Can't find any other weakness in white's position.
Okay.
Mm.
Maybe
For
you
black,
can say that b2 could become potentially weak because it is undefended, but always you can go b3. But right now it is slightly, you can say, but it's not a relevant
Okay.
weakness for now.
Got it. For black, the biggest weakness is d5.
Very good.
Where the
d5.
knight is sitting.
What do you call such a square?
A
There's a
hole.
name. Yes, hole. But when a knight sits on it, what do you call it?
Outpost.
Very good. Excellent. Outpost. d5 is a beautiful outpost for the knight.
B7 is weak. I don't know how to use it.
Which one?
B7.
Okay, but it's kind of irrelevant, yeah, that square.
Yeah.
If you tell me h8 is weak, I don't know how to refute that, but it's just that it's very difficult to reach there. I mean, it could be weak, it's not like because it's not adequately defended, only the king defends it. But b7 also, I don't see what you're going to do from there, basically. And it's not so easy to reach.
Yeah.
Another weakness, usually pawns are very quick. You can find pawn weaknesses very quickly, because first of all there are only 8 pawns. Secondly, any pawn which is not protected by a pawn is a weakness, potential weakness, you can say. So what do you see?
A5.
Very good. A5 is a weak pawn, and
D6 is a weak pawn.
A very big weakness. Very big weakness, because it's also a backward pawn. By our logic, even F7 could become weak, but right now it's very difficult to attack it. So if you look at what you have said, D5 is a major weakness. Knight sits here beautifully. D6 is also a weak pawn. And so if you are playing here as white, how would you coordinate your forces to attack this weakness further?
Sorry, forgot to say that for white, D4 is also a weakness. The knight is sitting the same
the
logic.
knight. It's not a weakness, but it's an outpost. The knight is sitting here nicely, and
okay. So how?
Yeah. Okay, it's actually, yeah, that's true. It's a weakness in a way, because
because both the E pawn has gone ahead,
yes,
and
I agree.
C pawn is not there.
I agree. Okay, well said.
If that knight could be kicked out, then we could get queen to D3 and attack the
Very
D6
good.
pawn.
Very good. So what do you play as white?
This knight cannot be kicked out, so
all those who are in the chat suggesting the move E5, it's a drastic move. It's like saying, here's a weakness and I'm going to get rid of it. It's a kind of an active move. So takes, and you want to take here, I guess, and it's fine. This way of playing is fine, but let's try to grind black. Let's not be in a hurry to make him lose his weakness. How should you do that?
Okay. Just thinking knight somehow has to go out of there and attack that pawn, and queen has to come to d5 and support it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And where will the knight go?
That's what I'm just finding the track. Knight b6, then
Yeah.
it attacks the. Oh yeah, knight.
It's
Okay, got it. Knight c3,
okay.
then queen d5,
Okay.
and then knight. अरे यार,
ये
that is
जाना था
also
लेकिन
protected.
knight is controlling.
Yeah, that is protected.
uh, do you see, how do you look at knight circuits? Do you see moves from knight from here, or you just toss the knight somewhere and say I want the knight on this square, somewhere like that? How do you think?
I just keep visualizing the knight jumping around.
No, don't do that. Try to do it the
Okay.
other way. Try to see where your knight you want to put to attack this weakness,
Got it.
and then you find the circuit.
Got it. Okay. Come from here, come from there, come from here, come from here.
So
Okay.
then you are not
Yeah.
concerned
Okay.
about.
Knight e3,
Okay.
queen d5,
Yeah.
and then knight c4.
Brilliant. Well done. And
But what if he pushes now? He loses it. Yeah. If he pushes, he loses.
so basically a very important thing is, many times we think only where the knight can move, here, we don't get it. But the moment we see where our pieces should be, like this knight belongs to c4, the queen has to move into d5 to attack this weakness. Then you immediately spot knight e3, queen d5, knight c4, which was very quickly done by you. Well done. Well done. And this is the art of maneuvering against weaknesses. And this requires patience. E5 is an impatient move. Could be a good move. I'm not saying it's bad right now. But knight e3 is just in the spirit. I would say another move, Biswa, is knight c3 with the idea of knight e2, getting rid of this guy, and then trying to use your
Nice.
rook and queen to attack this.
This is much better. I like it better.
It's a touch and go thing. Both of the moves are pretty interesting. In fact, black is not worse as very worse. He has to play actively down the b file, try to get his rook. But anyway, it's not what is the main thing. Now I will show you one game which has stuck with me forever in my chess career, and I'm going to, this you should remember. White player is Smyslov, black player is Rudakovsky. Smyslov, have you heard of his name?
Yeah, he was my school friend.
Unfortunately, he was the world champion in the 1960s, so a little difficult.
Okay.
But after Mikhail Tal, so there was Botvinnik, then came Tal, then Botvinnik won his title again, and then Smyslov beat Botvinnik, and again Botvinnik took his title from Smyslov, and then so Botvinnik got back his title several times, and then Petrosyan beat Botvinnik. So that's how it goes. So white is Smyslov, black is Rudakovsky. It's a Sicilian. I will go through the moves a little bit quick at the opening because we want to understand the concept of weaknesses. Opponent played e5, bishop e3, bishop e6, f5, and we come to the critical moment in the game now. Let's try to understand your the understanding of weaknesses here. Black to move. Guys, this is quite a very interesting game. I would say all of you should watch this very carefully. In fact, I have explained it in my previous some improving chess, not this series but a previous series when I was talking about weakness and holes. Here, black to move, very important to find the right move. Well, Sujit Sudarshan says, what software is this? This is ChessBase, ChessBase 15, and I have put the link of the softwares in the description. So anyone who would like to use this can get it from the description. Biswa, weaknesses. Let's not get distracted by some other moves, thinking of moves. We can come to it. What are the weaknesses? Ilam Parthi
There is
says,
no weakness.
watching this game for the 10th time. Ilam Parthi, when you will be as old as me, you will be showing this game to some other youngsters. Like Mr. Biswa here, who's young at heart. Biswa wants to joke, but he doesn't.
I don't have a joke.
Saving his energy for finding the weaknesses.
I can't find any weakness in
What
White's
is
position,
this?
but
Okay, in White's position. Come on, there's anything that is not protected by a pawn and can be attacked is a weakness. There's a very clear weakness in White's position.
okay, let me see.
Why this clap? I don't understand.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is brutal.
Yeah.
Man. I hope it's not some queen sacrifice.
Okay, so first of all, weaknesses in White's camp. I'm going to point a square and you're going to tell me that this is no
E4. E4 is
absolutely big weakness.
yeah, but what to do with it? Like it's protected by the knight.
No, it's attacked once and it's defended once. And so what to do with it is to attack it more times. Anything that is weak, attack it. First, make it immobile, then attack it more. That's the point of a weakness. So here,
then queen c6.
bishop is hanging.
You can't have everything. Let the bishop go, man. Have the e4 pawn. It's a weakness. Do you not understand? Okay.
You can't have everything in life. Let go of money, health, and everything, but do attend the morning chess sessions.
Yeah. Okay, bishop to c4.
Okay, this was played in the game, and I take, and now I need you. Actually, when we spoke about weaknesses, you didn't speak about weaknesses in Black's camp. What is Black's weakness? Come on, very quickly. What comes to your mind?
D5. Sorry, D6.
D6 pawn is a weakness. Very good. And squares. Also, any square which is not protected by a pawn and is relevant could be a weakness.
Yeah, that's why D5.
Very good. D5. Major weakness. Major. Because it's such a beautiful, juicy central square. And if I can plonk my knight in there, I would be so happy if I can get the knight. So after Black played bishop c4, takes. It's your move as White now. And this will show your understanding of chess. White to move.
Knight d5 is an idea.
Knight d5 ko
Um,
e4, knight into d5. So basically, whenever opponent has a weakness, you really don't want him to take and just spoil. Now this weakness is gone. D5 square, d6 is also now no longer weak because you closed the file. Of course, it's a different matter that you may lose a pawn as well.
got it. In that case, I would like to suggest rook a to d1.
Not a bad move, not a bad move, but you lose a pawn here. And it's not at all like a wrong move, but look at the position, look at this square, this juicy square. The knight is enticed towards it, it wants to be there, but this knight is saying I won't allow you, and you are like, I want it. What do you do to get it?
Mm, okay. Bishop to g5, but then he
Brilliant
just
move, brilliant move.
okay, got it. He
What?
can't take.
What? He can't take on e4, right? Because first of all this
Yeah,
is hanging, second of all even this is hanging. And actually the game just simply over, because after bishop takes and knight d5, look at this beautiful monster on d5. It is attacking in all directions. Oops, sorry. And that's why you see the weakness, how he exploited it. He removed the defenders of that weakness and he put in his knight. Now if you were black here, what would you play? Because now you know that bishop c4 was a bad move. So what would you do? And you also want to attack this weakness here, and you also want to control this square here. How do you do all of that?
like that weakness, control the square. Okay, and save the bishop also.
Biswa, I was always wondering, like, when people yawn in front of each other, then the other person
Yes,
also feels like yawning. But when you are yawning, I don't feel like yawning. Is it because we are like online and I'm not in front of you? Or is it because I'm fresh? Like,
it's because you are used to
waking
8
up.
a.m. classes. Yeah,
So online doesn't. So yawning is actually can be contracted by online also. So viewers
yeah.
can help if if they are also yawning after seeing Biswa yawn. Ah, very good. Okay, so how do you control this square? Also attack this, and yes, you want to save this bishop because it's important. You don't want to give it up.
Okay, queen c6. He'll take the bishop, but then
Biswa is
knight
tired,
takes.
yeah, today. You are giving up. See, weaknesses are important, but not more than material. Material is very important.
I'm just checking if we do queen. The like basic idea is that we'll get his e3 bishop at some point, like on some line. If we do queen c6, he takes our bishop. We take e4. He, there's nothing. It's stupid.
It's very
Yeah,
bad.
what is there?
There's nothing.
Very,
So
yeah.
this guy has to be moved. Then you want, oops, sorry. Then you want to control this and you want to control this. How do you do it?
Don't make me say it. I think it's. I'm just going to say it. Okay, Bishop d5. Why? But why would you do that? Then the bishop just dies. Why are you making me do this?
अरे 2 मूव का भी प्लान रहता है ना, एक मूव में ही सब नहीं होता है.
Oh, okay. Then say like that, no. Queen d7 and
Queen.
sorry, Bishop d7.
Yes, very good. Bishop d7. And now when he tries to control, like he wants to take and put it here, you can control this square with your bishop, and it's a playable position. You know, it's a very interesting game now. So okay. Let's look at one game of Vidit now to show you what a positional genius he is. You know, we have always been looking at his online streams and everything, but guys should understand that he's actually one of the world's leading experts on positional chess. So his understanding of weaknesses and everything is at a high class level. I would even say as good as anyone in the world. Not even, I wouldn't even say lesser than the top 10 players, because that's his forte in chess. So this is Vidit White against Eltaj Safarli, who is a strong 2680 GM from Azerbaijan. And Biswa, you are in Vidit's shoes here. If you are white, where are the weaknesses in black's camp?
b7.
Very good. Excellent.
b7 and well, it's protected by everything else is protected by something.
But something which is not protected by a pawn could potentially become weak.
Okay, b6.
Very good. b6 square is a weakness. Excellent. What else?
Okay, b6 is a weakness. इधर कुछ Kingside में क्या है weakness? No weakness. Protected.
Would you also call this to be slightly weak? Because, you know, I wouldn't say it's weak right now, but because it's not protected by a pawn, and if these pieces move out, this could become weak, potentially.
Nice. Yes, that is a weakness. E6.
And in white's camp, where do you find the weaknesses in the position?
Is Vidit white?
Yes.
Then no weakness. It's positional genius.
That is
okay,
true.
Yeah. Okay, weakness is a3 pawn.
A3 pawn weakness, weak. Very good. And
so naturally a4 is also weak.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, there is g4 that is weak and e4 that is weak.
Possibly, yes. Until this bishop is there, these squares are well controlled, but they could become weak, but not very important right now.
Another one is d3 is weak, and
very difficult to reach it.
No, you can reach it with the bishop to g6 move.
Yes, but then, yeah, possibly.
What do you do with it?
Yeah, there exactly. A weak square is also something where it's like candidate moves. Yeah, like checks, captures, threats are not all candidate moves. Only those make sense are candidate moves. Similarly, not every square which is unprotected is a weakness, but something like, as you said, b6 makes full sense because it continues to attack b7. So that's really weak. And I had a question in the chat, which is b6 is protected by a queen. So how is it a weak square? I'm confused. Would you like to answer that, Biswa? He says b6 is
Uh,
covered by the queen. Why is that a weakness?
because the queen moves out, then there is nothing protecting it, I guess.
Yes, and also, as we have already mentioned, if a square or a pawn or a piece or anything is defended once and also attacked once, it is still a weakness, because if you increase the pressure there, you can get control over it.
You like if you go rook b1, then obviously b6 is weak.
Yes. Okay, so let's see how Vidit actually takes. Do you have any idea of how white should be taking advantage of this position?
Is it white to move?
No, black to move. Of course, if white to move, queen into b7 would it take? He would take. But so black defended, rook d7. Now, how do you take advantage of this?
Queen sacrifice. uh, I think rook b1.
Yes. And then what's your future plan? Like I'm giving you 5 moves, Biswa. Take 5 moves. What will you do? Matlab,
An opponent has no move, right?
don't take all the pieces. Huh? Try to improve your position. You will go queen b7, queen d7, queen d8, queen a8. सब कुछ साफ कर दिया.
Rook b1, queen b6, queen takes queen.
Remember one very important thing about weaknesses. The best thing you can do with a weakness is to make it immobile, to make it sort of that it doesn't move. If something can move, it's very difficult to attack it. It's also true about let's say boxing or wrestling. When the opponent is very quick in moving, it's very difficult to punch him. But the moment you have landed a blow and he's a little bit shocked and he's immobile, you can land another one very easily. So same thing, b7 is a soft spot, but you must make it immobile. How do you do that?
Queen sacrifice. No. How to make it immobile?
See, usually you can pin down a pawn by not see if you attack it a lot of times, it may just move. Of course, it creates another weakness here, but we want to make this it should not be able to move.
Yeah, okay. Rook b1, then queen, queen. Nice. Okay, rook b1, queen. Sorry. Okay, I have 5 moves, right? I'll use all of them. Rook b1, then the other rook to c2, then the other rook to c1, then queen to c4, then one rook goes and pins, one rook goes and sits on b6. Or it can take b7 also.
Okay. So you want to play like double this and then come here and then take this, right?
Yeah.
It's a possible plan, but remember that you do all of this and then the opponent just moves his pawn to b5. Of course, here c6 is hanging, and then you will not be able to get it. So in order to make this immobile, a very valid plan is to push this pawn to a5. When it is defended by the rook and the queen, so it's not very weak. I mean, it cannot be attacked. And this becomes so immobile that when it falls, even this pawn is just 3 steps away from queening. So let's look at how.
He can just push, right?
But then this pawn falls, so he cannot push.
Got it.
So first rook b1, opponent played rook e7, and now a4 could move. Bishop g6, and you will see world class technique here. First rook d1, because we remember material is often more important than weaknesses. we can latch on to the weakness, but we don't want to lose the rook. So rook d1, bishop f7, a5, and now you see step number 1 done. This pawn has been sort of fixed. The weakness is fixed over there. So opponent played queen c7, queen c3, h6, bishop e2, bishop e8. And now the next part of this entire operation begins. How should we further play as white?
Rook b1. But then he'll bring bishop.
Oh, rook b1. Now he played king h8, bishop d3, rook d8, bishop e4. See how Vidit is playing slowly. Yeah, he's not. When you are in advantage, you play aram se. Don't rush. Now again, what do you do here? White to move.
Your stupid queen b4 comes to mind.
Not bad, not bad. But you know, queen in front is always a problem because it cannot take something because something is defending. So queen should usually come from behind.
Okay, rook b4.
Yes, rook b4, but you know that this square is a weakness. Why not make use of it?
Yeah, rook b6.
Rook b6, king h8, queen b4, rook a8, and now rook c1. You see, he's just playing around. An opponent now lost his patience. He pushed the pawn, and every pawn push creates new weaknesses. If you see now, e5 square got weak. Any pawn push. So he went back, rook d8, bishop e2, e5, with it took, queen takes, and now again here, what would you play here as white? Think carefully. White to move. Yes, Abhijit, this is from Dubai Open. Absolutely.
Is it a queen sacrifice?
No, not queen sacrifice. By the way, guys, please welcome in the chat Abhijit Gupta, also known as Mr. Commonwealth, 5-time Commonwealth champion, and also one of India's top GMs. So welcome, Abhijit. And he also recently recorded a video of what is Grunfeld defense, basics of Grunfeld defense, for ChessBase India, so you can check it out, that video.
You know what is Enfield defense?
Enfield, that Royal Enfield one, when you take a bike and then you go out with your...
Yeah, if somebody tries to beat you in chess, you just go and एक bullet पे जाके चढ़ जाओ उसके ऊपर. Okay.
So
enjoying. Hold on.
This is torture. I know this is because, you know, learning new concepts in chess about weaknesses and all is really tedious, not easy, but I'm glad you are trying it. It's not easy.
No problem, brother. This one is hard. Okay.
Do you see that a pawn is hanging?
Of course, b7.
Yes.
Just takes, I guess. Takes. Let's take the pawn.
Sorry?
Let's take that pawn. I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So this is where I think you should be careful, because this is weak. This pawn is not as weak. So when you take this, and he takes here, you have actually exchanged a very weak pawn for your own strong pawn, and player like Vidit would never rush, and so he played very calmly bishop f3 ki I will defend this and later I will win it. Jaldi nahi hai koi. So queen c7, and now you will see again rook b1 threatening to win the pawn. So rook d7, and now queen c5 slowly. And now came the critical mistake in the game, final mistake. White to play and win.
White made a mistake.
No, white to play and win. Rook f7 was the mistake. I mean, it was already losing position. Vidit has played brilliantly until now. Okay, guys, please like the video. Like it for Vidit's technique. You know, it's called sort of shadow dancing. What he did was, he did nothing especially. He just shuffled his pieces around, pushed his pawn to a4, a5. And now look at his opponent, completely cramped up. And now the final breakthrough.
Is it a bishop sacrifice?
No, just a bishop move, normal bishop move. Yes.
Yeah, obviously. It is what? Yeah. It's bishop to h5.
Very good. Bishop h5. And opponent now sacrificed material, like he played rook d5, queen c3, f4, and with it simply took it. And he knew that nothing is happening. He took another pawn, and opponent very soon resigned, because he's not just exchanged down, but he's also completely lost. So few more moves were played, but this was winning for Vidit here. So, and he resigned. Okay, we are not going into the details, but the essential point was that here, if he moved his rook to e7, then what Vidit had prepared was rook b7, queen b7, rook b7, rook b7, and a6, attacking the rook. And if rook moves somewhere here, this rook hangs, and if you go to a7, then I take and pick up this rook. And if you go to c7, then again you play a7, forcing the rook to come to this square, and you take and queen a7, and you win. So going back to the start position where we saw, if you look at it, Biswa, the b7 pawn was a weakness, and b6 was also weakness. So he just made it immobile. Then he just put his rook up here and slowly put pressure, and he actually didn't do much. Okay, there was one question, why not rook b2 here? Rook b2 is equally good, no problems, but Vidit played rook d1, a5, and now queen c3. Slowly rook went b1, then bishop went back, then rook came in, and very slowly he pumped up the pressure against a weakness. So, and he won. Okay, so that was about today's session. I think a lot of heavy dosage about weaknesses, but I think
Yes.
this, try to
It's very good.
try to look at it in your games. If any square or any pawn is undefended by another pawn, you know, it's undefended, it cannot be defended, then it starts to get weakness. And if you can attack it, it can also be a piece, but piece very less, because piece can just move very quickly, and in order to attack a weakness, you need to immobilize it, like this position where the pawn was pushed and it was immobilized.
Got it.
Okay. Okay, so thank you, Biswa, for this, and I hope that you will try it today in your game, and maybe you will reach 1200 back, not lose another 100 elo points.
Yes. Either 1100 or 1300. I'm not settling for anything in between.
Let's see. Let's see. How many games do you play in a day, roughly around?
10, 15.
10, 15 games. Fantastic. And 10 minutes each, something like that, or?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All the best for that, and thank you for making it today. See you tomorrow. Bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Okay, guys, this was about weaknesses. I think it was a very tough session for Biswa, and I think also for all of you guys. But it's the building block of positional chess. If you understand weaknesses, you can understand how to play positionally. Because any position, you pick up any position. Like I open this up and I see any, like I go to Mega Database and I see any game. Let's just randomly any game, I'll go through it and I'll see some weakness will be created by every pawn push. Look, pawn push, maybe d6 right now defended but could become weak, c7 slightly. I just start looking. Your mind should be so quick that every time something moves, what's the weakness, where is the weakness, let me see. And based on the weaknesses, often games are won and lost. You will see now how this d6 square has become weak. It's fantastic. h4, and now he's going after this bishop. h6, f4, a5. Now a5, suddenly b6 square becomes weak. Anything which moves forward could create a weakness, and here I think in general, okay, he resigned. I don't know this game, but I was just trying to prove this point that whenever you're looking at stuff, see what is the space left behind by a pawn push or by a piece, and you will learn a lot about weaknesses through that. Okay, all those who said that weaknesses is not clear, very good, because it's not a concept that can be learned in a day. It cannot be something very basic. It's something that players have spent years trying to master. It's players have tried something to understand, and once you understand weaknesses better, you will be able to play chess better, because you will try to make use of it. You will see, this is a weak square, let me see if I can put but how about exchanging this bishop? Can I play a3, bishop b4, exchange these bishops and then plonk my rook in? All these things you understand because of weaknesses. So thank you everyone for attending. Please like the stream. I think we have 665 likes. Let's make it 800. All those who haven't liked it, please like it. Sumed says this session helped me to understand weaknesses much better. That's good to know, Sumed. And also yesterday there was a tournament. It was won by Girish Kaushik. Second was Nadir Bek Abdusattarov. Third was Raunak Sadhwani. I think Vidit finished 20th. Not a great result, but as I said, playing and speaking is never easy. And third, Adiban, I think, finished somewhere in 20s as well. So it was not easy. Okay, guys, try looking at weaknesses in your games, and let's stay in touch. You can contact me on my Discord, on my Instagram, on chessbaseindia@gmail.com, anywhere. And if I have not replied to any mails or messages of you, I will do so soon, because I need to sit down and start doing my other work as well apart from streaming, which I will shortly be starting to do. But thank you all and see you soon. Bye.